And welcome back to News Center. Thank you very much for staying with us. We want to get into our sports discussion. Joining me, like I mentioned earlier, Robin Toskin, our sports editor. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Betty.
So I'm sure you were in the thick of the action yesterday. What did you think? You said Gor Mahia put out a great show, but looking at the technicalities, how was their play yesterday?
I think Gor Mahia have shown that they've moved to a different level compared to maybe the rest of the Kenyan Premier League clubs. Looking at that game, everyone agrees that Hull City were at a different level technically, but Gor Mahia did enough to match them. And what Hull City were doing was just to contain them, because for once I thought the altitude was affecting them, and also the heat, because at every opportune time they were taking time off to have a drink of a sip of water.
Yeah.
And what we saw was a good advertisement for the Kenyan game. And look at the fans.
Yeah.
I think it was amazing.
It was.
Because fellas packed that stadium. We've not seen guys coming to watch a game of the in such numbers.
Yeah.
And that is to say that there could be a lot of takeaways from this visit by Hull City. One is that you really need to put yourself at a level where you can compete. And Gor Mahia have done that. Over the last 5 years, their signings has really been impressive. There could be mamas here and there, but then they have a good squad. Secondly, the fans will always want to come and watch that which is good. Look look at the fact that it was Hull City, and people associate the English clubs with maybe good quality game. And guys came out. And now that behoves us all, to make sure that we place ourselves at an advantageous point to exploit all this. And thirdly, the state of the pitch. Yesterday, the Kasarani pitch was an improvement of what we've always known.
Yeah.
And that is the only way we could attract a top side like Hull City. As we're speaking, I've just got information that Atletico Madrid from Spain were actually supposed to come.
Oh, okay.
But then because of what we all know, we don't have enough study, and nobody was sure that Kasarani would beat the deadline. So they have postponed. Atletico Madrid are going to Nigeria to play against the Nigerian team that's preparing for the World Cup. Therefore, the takeaway here is that the government must really come in and put up infrastructure. When you read stories of 10 billion shillings, 9 billion shillings, just walking out of NYS.
Walking out
really,
of NYS.
Really, that tells you that we have a problem.
Yeah.
They want to construct an embassy in Geneva, Switzerland, at a cost of 1.2 billion.
Imagine that.
Really?
Really?
Really? So that is that we have a product. We have the Kenyan Premier League. The government should come in. And then fourth, the sponsors. I think, truth be told, I think SportPesa have done really enough to put in money and bring these guys here, get Gor Mahia to a level they can compete with the rest of the world. And remember, Gor are playing on Wednesday against USM Alger of Algeria in the Confederation Cup. It will be at 7 p.m. Kasarani. And I think as Kenyans,
we should go out.
The sports people are doing their bit. The government...
Is the government doing their bits really,
they are
Robin?
Not. They are not. The behind-the-scenes information that we know, how SportPesa got Kasarani to be playable as it is, it was it's really disturbing. We need these guys to cooperate with the corporate world so that they partner together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And even yesterday, the CS for Sports, missing.
I'm telling you.
Missing in action. What does that even say? That's a strong message, really.
It is. It is a strong message. And I think maybe if he had other commitments, well, we can explain that. But this was a big day for Kenya. Hull City coming, and the former PM stole the show. He was there with other dignitaries. But the CS should take, charge of all these things. Let him be seen to be at the forefront of everything. But then maybe he's still learning his ropes around, but he has to do it fast.
It was just about attending a match. Come on, Robin. All right, let's also just talk about, of course, you mentioned SportPesa and they were behind this. But then, do you think that the ministry really has let a lot of responsibility, to these sponsors to actually make efforts in making, actually it's not even football. I mean, almost all sports, volleyball.
They need to facilitate the corporate world. You see, we were talking about public-private partnerships, you know, and here is where the ministry comes in. We need to have a proactive ministry that enables these guys' work. There is the Sports Act, which provides for the creation of the sports fund. There is also the creation of the stadium management, you know, component of it all. And if only the ministry could just be proactive, go out there, get the money from the private sector and help us develop this stadium, it will be good. It's a shame because a country like Gabon, which I think our economy is double the economy of Gabon, they have 5 world-class stadiums, and that is a very small economy. Yeah. What about us? We are one of the largest economies in East and Central Africa, and yet we don't have all this. And I think now it's upon the ministry, it's upon Echesa. He's a former boxer. Yeah. He needs to lead the way.
He knows. Yeah. All right, let's also move on to the English Premier League and Juventus.
Oh, Juventus, I watched the game yesterday, Juventus versus Roma. That game ended 0-0. That 1 point secured the 7th straight title in Italy. And I think under Allegri, Juventus have really been you know, a giant in the Italian league. Yeah. And he took over from Conte, who went to Chelsea and helped Chelsea win a title. But Juventus, they've done really well. Napoli will blame themselves. Napoli will blame themselves because they slipped at a very crucial moment. But then they're still in the Champions League.
All right. Yeah. Moving on to Barcelona being beaten finally.
Finally. Everyone was talking about a possibility of them going the whole season unbeaten. Remember, in Europe, I think the most famous invincibles are the Arsenal side of 2004. They went unbeaten. But yesterday, a small team, placed number 15 in the La Liga, that's the Levante. They beat Barcelona by 5 goals to 4. And Emmanuel Boateng hit a hat-trick for Levante, and then Emi Badri getting 2 goals. But of course, Barcelona hit back, almost equalizing. But Messi did not play that game. And the coach, Ernesto Valverde, will maybe blame himself for resting Messi. But of course, you need Messi is done his bit. So maybe he was tired, he needed some rest. But now that unbeaten run is ended, thanks to Levante.
Just like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but the big news, England, the league has ended, and Mo Salah, best player of the league, he scored 32 goals, a new record for the most goals scored in that season. But of course, again, Wenger played his last game against Huddersfield, and they won 1-0. The first win in 2018.
Imagine that when he's leaving.
I really watched Wenger, and I thought really the English game will miss him. Yeah. He has changed Arsenal. He's really changed Arsenal to be a big team the way they are now. And yesterday he was saying really sad for him to be exiting the game, but happy because Arsenal is at a different level now. But I think Wenger, as football people, we should applaud him for the contribution he's made. But of course, over at Tottenham, our own Victor Wanyama. He's been fantastic. He suffered a knee injury early in the season, but then he overcame it. He hasn't really hit the level he was last season, but Tottenham have qualified for the Champions League, and he has played a very big part. And the coach, Mauricio Pochettino, is full of praise of that young boy. And everyone here in Kenya is saying, can we produce another Victor Wanyama? Because in sport, you can't stay at the top level for a very long time. We hope that we'll have some other Victor Wanyamas coming through. And what Gor Mahia are doing is really good. We want to wish them well. But then, Gor, you are now a big club. You should operate, think, and work at that level. At that level. It will be a shame if Gor Mahia again gets down.
I get it. Thank you so much, Robin Toskin, for that. And by the way, Tottenham is my team. It is my team. No, not because of Wanyama. It's just I like the underdog sometimes.
You like the underdogs?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to support a club. Locally, I'm told also it's rumored you are a Gor Mahia fan. Is the truth?
For sure. Oh, yes, for sure. Of course. But of course, I have a lot of love also. I also have a lot of love for all the other teams. All right. Thank you very, very much, Robin Toskin. He's our sports editor here at the Standard Group. So I want to continue with